Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm recording this in the afternoon, but I don't know what time you're watching it, so I want to make you feel very welcome. I'm Tracy, I'm a CZT, and I love tangling, and I want you to be more than welcome at my tangling table. Today we're just going to have a tile and tangle, and I'll speak you through it as we go. And I may put in a conversation or there as we go about tangling and as we enjoy the process. So here I've got a tortillon, a graphite pencil, and I've got a General's chalk pencil, and I've got a Tom Studios duo pen. Here I've got a 03, and this one is a 03, but it's actually a blue pen. I will switch that over to a 05 if I need it, and I will let you know if I do so. So we're going to start off with dots and a border. So dots and a border. So this is a tile that I put some color on, and I'm doing a border. The dots and border are there. So the dots, so you're not terrified of a new tile. Do you know when you get a new book or an exercise book way back in high school or school, and you needed to write neat, and then you get on your second or third page and you're like, oh, I don't care anymore, I'm just going to do my old handwriting. That's what the dots and border is there for. It's there to, as a guide, it's there to take that fear away as it's a new piece of paper. I'm just going to do that because it's just about warped from the water that I added on this tile. I think I will do like a C shape here, and then I'm going to do like an S shape, and I'll do an S shape. So it looks like a sun, but it's not going to look like the sun at the end of it. I do apologize if you can hear my dog chewing on the bone. I gave her a bone, so she's occupied while I'm tangling and not bothering me. And she's really enjoying it. So here we're going to do a tangle called pepper. So I'm just going to put a dot in the corner, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a C shape around there, and then bring that curve down to that dot. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to aura it, but I'm going to taper it in here so it comes to a point. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put another C shape there. And then what I'll do is I'll ink that in. Okay, so I'm going to do another one here, and then when I get to this line, the string line, I'll put a C shape, put a slightly C shape, and I'm going to taper it in. And I want you to remember to breathe and focus upon the process of Zentangle. That it's a beautiful, relaxing process that we take advantage of, and we create a beautiful pattern or tile or art or whatever you want to call it. It's just worth it, and just worth the process as we go along. And I want to remind you that it's there for a reason. That the string there is there for a reason. Yes, it's a pencil line. It could be rubbed out, but we don't have erasers in the Zentangle method. Why? Because there's no mistakes. And sometimes we often think, well, how can there be no mistakes in Zentangle? Well, yes, of course there are mistakes in everything that we do in a daily life, okay? But it's the way we handle those mistakes. Now, in everyday life, if someone left their tablet or phone or iPad on the floor and then a cushion fell off the sofa or couch, whatever settee, wherever you are in the world, and the cushion fell on to the phone or iPad, and someone stood on the edge of it because the cushion was there or the blanket was there and that you couldn't see it, and then that you crack the screen. Well, you could either say, well, that shouldn't have been there, or that you should have picked up the cushion before or the blanket before you should have stepped on it. Or you could say, don't leave your phone or whatever lying on the floor. And instead of being upset, obviously you're going to be upset because it's a really expensive mistake, but there are different ways in seeing it and being able to focus on it and see the good and the bad and learning from the mistakes. Okay, I've just switched to a slightly thicker pen to make the inking process a little bit more bearable. And it's the same in swearing or mistakes, that you can quite easily make those mistakes again and again and again. Or you can learn from the mistake and adapt how you do it. And incorporate that into your tile. And that's the nice thing about Zentangle. That that there are no mistakes, that we incorporate the mistakes into the tile and we learn from them. And I just love the way that is done. So yes, so this tangle is called pepper, and I'm only doing part of the pepper. I'm not doing the whole tangle because it would normally be done in a circle shape or an orb. In actual fact, I've got a tile that I've done pepper on. There we are. So it's not shaded just yet, but that tangle is called pepper. And I've been enjoying doing pepper just recently. And that's what's nice about Zentangle, that you know that you are drawing and it's a relaxful, mindful technique that you are doing all the time. And but that you never get bored of it because there are so many different tangles. Yes, that you've got your core tangles, which are like your holly ball, your crescent moon, your tipple, Prinsam, where you learn your basic techniques, your core techniques like aura and hollow boring, and that we just have fun in the process. Right. How are we going to go about this now? I must say I have no idea what tangles I'm going to do. I've made this up on the spot. It's the normal tangles that we do. It's a normal method. It's no planning. There's a CZT that we have to plan for classes, but most of those tiles come from our own tangling. So I think in this section I'm going to put Prinsam, and I don't know if I'm going to put weighted. Yes, I am going to put weighted Prinsam. Okay. And as you are drawing these spirals, in other words, in actual fact, I'm going to go over that string line because I can. That string is there as a guide. It's not set in stone. And everything can be changed, and how you feel and the mood that you are in. It's just a nice way of doing it. That, you know, it's the joys of Zentangle. It's just the Zentangle method. So the last time I spoke about no, my mind's just gone blank. But I had a very good chat about it, about myself in my last video, and some people really enjoyed it. And I've not really planned anything to chat today about anything, but I thought we could have a few notes and that about Zentangle and about mistakes. As we just take the time to relax and just enjoy the process. It's so important to enjoy the process. That you know. It's just, I sometimes get carried away just with just adding the waiting that, it's just so amazing. I'm sure the last video I talked about mistakes. I can't remember, and I don't really want to be repeating myself, but and making my viewers bored. I might share a little bit of my story anyway. So I was studying architecture at university, and I passed my first year, which I was over the moon about. I will say I'm totally dyslexic, and got through 7 years of my degree without reading a textbook from cover to cover, which you can say is sad or amazing, or I'm quite proud of it, because I was enabled by technology to read the books to me. And isn't that just amazing that nothing stops a disability these days, that there are so many, not really a disability, I suppose it's a learning disability, isn't it? That that there are ways and means out there to help people get through schooling so you can have your dream job. And in my second year, I was driving home on my little motorbike, and I had an accident that was not my fault. And my bike landed on the back of my knee and smashed my knee. And since then, I have been marked disabled, and I live in pain every day. And I battle to sit at an office chair for more than 2 hours, pushing 3. And on the days that I do teach, that my whole day resolves around teaching. That I have a sleep in the morning, and then I have my main meal a lot earlier, and that's fine. And then I teach from 6 till 8 p.m., and I have a sleep in the afternoon. Anyway, going back to my accident, after a very, very long surgery and the recovery time, they said I would get back to normal in 3 to 6 months, and 3 to 6 months turned into 6 to 9 months, and then 9 to 12 months, and then a year to 2 years, and here I am 10 years on, and I survive on morphine tablets because of the pain and the bone on bone, and I'm not going to get too nitty gritty into the the details. But and during my recovery, I bought some Zentangle books, and they sat on the shelf because I was too busy with my degree. I've just noticed that I've done that in a 05, and do you know what? It really doesn't matter. I may just carry on with this tile in a 05 so it doesn't look funny, because there you can't notice that here. So I managed to finish my degree. A 3-year course took me 7 years, and then I finally graduated. That was, oh my word, it was tears of joy on that day. And eventually I did go for a few interviews, and I tried to hold a job down, and I just couldn't maintain the stamina of sitting at a desk. So we're going to put in Holly-ball here. So I just had to be at home and live life at home. And I tell you what, learning to accept a disability like that is, I would say, one of the hardest things I've ever done. And then I started passing out just randomly, and it was just before I got married that a friend of mine came and said, "Oh, Tracy, come and have a look at these cards that my friend is making." And I said, "Oh yes, that's Zentangle, that I've got some of those books, you know." And I knew exactly where they were, so I lent them to her. And then I started passing out just randomly, and then I landed up in hospital. And she came to see me in hospital, and she brought me this Zentangle book, and she said, "Come on now, Tracy," and like threw this book on the bed, and she said, "Now it's your time to shine and do Zentangle." Because of my architectural drawing, I'm quite good at fine lines and so on and so forth. So I did, and I really, really enjoyed it in hospital. And then that was 2019, October 2019, and then life gets back to normal, you know. And then 2020 came, and COVID came, and I had all the time in the world. And here, let's do I'm thinking, what tangle shall I do? I think I might do Printam again, but that may be too much actually. Just let me have a look. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Printam. No, I'm not. I'm going to do Poke Root. Yeah, I'm going to do Poke Root, and I'm going to actually do it from this side. So I picked up a pen again, and I started Zentangling, and I found my teacher, Zenjo, and I bought some classes and the basic understood, and I found that doing Zentangle really helped the pain. And sometimes you'll say, oh no, do not be daft. How can Zentangle and fine detail take away the pain like morphine based pain that morphine doesn't even help, like type thing. Here I'm just stretching out that holly board to be linked to that you know. And at times I would be sitting on the sofa or the bed or laying down, and that there would be tears coming down my face. That's how bad my knee would be. And my husband would say to me, well, Tracy, that you're in so much pain, have you taken painkillers? Yes. Waiting for them to work. And he would like throw me a tile and say, come on now, do some Zentangle. And because you're focusing on the patterns, it takes your mind off the pain, you know, and it really, really helped. And I've never really looked back. I love Zentangle. It's part of my daily life. I do it in bed, I do it on the sofa, I do it. I've always got a tile with me. I've always got a pen with me, that you know, and really, really helps. So that is a little bit about me, and then I knew I wanted to help people in my situation, and my really goal is to maybe open a charity and do classes with it. And but I just don't have the stamina to do it, and maybe I'll need people to help me with it, I don't know. And then I'm just gonna put a hob here and there and do it, and to help people like me with life-changing injuries, you know, and help give back to the community. That doesn't cost a fortune, you know. I do run Tea and Tangle for nothing, because I think that the whole thing teaches charge so much, and yes, I can understand it's their job, and that's fine, but people need Zentangle and people can't always afford it, and it's like having your vitamin Z, your vitamin Zentangle, you know, having that something that you can just rely on to get you through the day. And that's like me, and a little bit about my background. And I'm actually going to ink this in. It doesn't look fantastic, so I'm going to ink it in that one. I'm going to start shading this, and then I will have a look where this goes, type thing, you know, and see how it goes with shading. So that's a bit about me and my background. And that the whole thing about the YouTube, I wanted to share Zentangle and share what I can do. Sorry, I'm just taking a sip of my juice. And it being aware of the things that I can help people all around the world. I'm going to expand this here, and because I've gone over there, I can't. But that's okay, you know. So I'm going to take my tortillon and I'm going to just soften that graphite. You know, softening that graphite is adding the depth that you need to make this tile look 3D or 2D, or I think it's 3-dimensional because you're adding depth to it, aren't you? I'm actually going to put some there. Just carry on. I'm going to put a little bit here as well. And do you know what? That I do love that I am able to share the thing that I'm able to do. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around that first print time that I did, okay? And now, depending if you are a mature tangler or a beginner or an intermediate, it really doesn't matter, okay, where you starting with. But you can see I've just sprayed that graphite, and now that looks like it's coming up, doesn't it? And I'm going to do the same about this one. Normally I put all the graphite down first and then I tangle, but it's different for YouTube. And I want you to do what makes you feel comfortable. And normally when I tangle by myself or tangle in Zentangle, I do all the graphite. And now that I've done 3, I might show you what I mean by doing all the graphite. So this one was my next one. I just so enjoy just the whole process. It's so relaxing. And do you know what? People often look at it and say, oh, I can't draw. But the thing is, if you can write a I, look at, if you can draw an I, a C, an O, and an S, those are all the shapes that I have used here. This is a C shape. That's a C going into an O. That's a C shape. This is a circle. It's an O. This is a C shape. Do you see what I mean? And everything that I say is step by step. It's one stroke at a time. Learning and remembering to breathe and relax your hand as you go along. And believe it or not, it's very, very easy. And the more you do, the better you become. And the better you become, the more confident you become. It's just like anything else. Riding a bicycle, driving, starting to write your name. Can you remember when you learned how to write your name? It was so scribbly, and your parents were like, "Oh, that's amazing." And now you're like, I don't think twice to write my name now. It becomes natural to it, you know. And Zentangle, I've tangled my fireplace in my bedroom. It took me ages because I couldn't all do it in one go. But, and then everybody was like, "Oh, have you done that in pencil first?" And I was like, "No, I just did it freehand." Like, you know. And that's the nice thing about Zentangle. You can do it anywhere. I've tangled boxes. I've tangled a wall. I've tangled a frame. I've tangled... Oh, you name it, I've probably done it. Yeah, I would love to tangle my fence outside, but that's a big job and means a lot of work and a lot of perseverance, you know. And I wanted to do so much more on the fireplace. But it came to a point where I couldn't because of money. But now that I've told you that, it's not finished, but it doesn't look unfinished. And that's the nice thing about Zentangle. No matter what you do, it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look just amazing, you know. And it's a piece of art. It's just who I am. It's a piece of you. It's a piece of Zentangle. It's a piece of you know, it's there to be. It's just there to be there, isn't it? That doesn't make sense, but I'm sure that you get the gist. And then here we're putting some graphite at the top here. And I'm putting some here, some graphite here, so it looks like it's going underneath. Okay, you will see it now. And the thing is that a lot of artistic people, that's what I spoke about in the last video, is artistic. Are you autistic? And everybody is autistic. I remember now. And no matter what you do, if you nurture that, you can do it. It's like, okay, For instance, Ed Sheeran. Have you heard his first time that he sang? And if you haven't, you need to go onto YouTube and look at it because it was awful. But that's something that he really wanted to do, and he nurtured it. And he went to singing lessons and vocal coaches, and he nurtured playing the guitar. And look at him today. And that's just a little something that you know, like anybody else. I'm gonna just add a little border here because I don't want this okay. I'll do it. And now that you can see I'm not drawing a straight line, it's because it's not going to be a straight line. Nobody can draw a straight line, so why even attempt it? Do you see what I mean? It's like, well, if you can draw a straight line, great. And if you can't, it's not a problem. You know, I'm just going to do this here. And then I'm going to soften that. Soften it with a tortillon. And it's like with anything, like a hairdresser. Nobody cuts the perfect haircut the first time they pick up a scissors. Everybody did it through COVID. But did it look amazing? Did it look as good as a hairdresser? Interesting question now, isn't it? I've got you thinking now. Are you willing to cut your own hair? I'm not. I don't want to cut my own hair. I'll let my hair grow. Right. That's my tile. I'm going to sign it because I want to market my tile. Tracy's Tangles. And then I'm going to... So these are the shapes or the strokes you use. Okay, and it's one stroke at a time. And it's that's really important. It's one stroke at a time. It's the process that we learn. And we did Printam. I don't think it has that in it. Printam, we did Holly-ball. We did Poke Root. And we did a Pepper. And you can find these on Tangle patterns.com. And then that you must almost remember to date it. So the date is the 9th of June 2024, and it's a Sunday here, and it's done by me, Tracy's Tangles. I hope you have enjoyed that class, that little tile. I hope you tangle along with me. Comment in the comments on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, and come and join me again. It's bring a cup of tea. I bring a Dr. Pepper. I can't quite show you this in a full video. Maybe turn it that way. But I have a Dr. Pepper Zero. That's my... I say a Dr. Pepper a day keeps the doctor away. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And yes. And I'll see you the next time. Bye.